So, first thing we're going to do is go through some key questions of what we're doing today. So we've got, why are we sending out your emails? And kind of, is it worth it? Who are we marketing to? And how do we get their email addresses and create their email address, create the actual emails? And that bit will go across to Strelitzia and kind of show how that bit works internally. And then once we've got all of that, what do we say? And so we're going to focus on sales emails today and getting targeted for Christmas. And then when do we send them out? So how often and what time of day we're sending those out to.
Yeah, so like Amy says, we're going to go through a little bit of theory, and then we're going to see how that ties in with Strelitzia, how to export your marketing database, and the best practice when you're asking for email addresses from your customers.
Perfect. So why do we send out emails?
So first bit, we're going to do a little bit of theory, bit more of kind of the boring bit, really, but it's more to getting to the core of why you're sending those emails. And I think once you kind of understand that and understand the process and the different reasons why you're sending emails, and it'll become a lot easier for you when you kind of sit down and you get to it as to what you're actually doing.
So when we look at the promotional funnel, which is what we're doing when we're sending out an email, we're promoting ourselves. What we do is start at the top. So if I was Coca-Cola, what I want is everybody in the world to know who I am, be aware of my brand. For a florist, when I'm doing it for Flowers by Natures, what I want is everybody in our local town or has a relative in our local town to be aware and interested in Strelitzia. And then I want to bring them down that funnel. And so by the very fact that it's a funnel means that we're going to lose people along the way, but that's inevitable. But what I want to do is get them from being aware of who I am all the way down to going, actually, I trust this brand enough that when it's my granny's birthday or at Christmas, I would like to use that company out of every one that I can look at online to send those flowers and get that decision. And then lastly, we've got, after they've purchased, I want to spend more money with me. So the idea is that the cheapest way for me to increase my revenue is to increase turnover from my existing customers, because they already know and trust me, and they're going to start halfway down my funnel.
Yeah, think about things like, so when you're buying your flowers, you know, if you're buying from an online auction, you can see all the varieties of flowers that you want to buy that are there available to you. You're more often than not going to pick a variety of flowers where you can see the grower and you know and you trust that grower. And it's the same kind of concept. It's about getting your brand out there and for people to start trusting and recognizing you.
So the two sets of emails that I can send out is my newsletter, which I'm focusing on the top end of my funnel. So getting people to know who I am and interested in what I'm doing. And we have a great product for that. And then secondly, our sales emails. So once they know who I am, getting them to actually make the decision to buy from me when they've got a need to do so. So in this occasion, we're going to focus more on gift, but that could be your weddings and your funerals as well. So who am I marketing to? Again, we've got new customers. So no matter how big you are, there will always be new customers out there for you to get. Even if you're Tesco's, you have more customers not buying from you on a weekly basis than you have buying from you. So we want to get them back. They want to get them in store, or in this case, buying online or in our florist shops. And I want to get them to remember me. So again, it's more about that interest side. And how do I get their email addresses? So that is more difficult. So if you're on Facebook and you're scrolling through and you see a pair of trousers you like, one of the first things that pops up is, can I have your email address? And what that does, you'll get 5% off. It means that I'm going to put my email address in before I look on that website, and they then can continue that conversation. Even if I go onto the website and go, £300 for a pair of trousers is ridiculous, I don't want to buy, they've captured my email address so that I'm then subscribed to them. And then secondly,
you also think about things like, you know, wedding exhibitions and things like that. And if you're out and about and you're coming into contact with people who could be potential customers, make sure that you're growing your database that way as well, and you're asking for emails.
Absolutely. And then we've got our existing customers. So like I said, they are the cheapest and most effective form of promotion because they know and trust you and they're more likely to buy from you again. And they also start at the middle of the funnel. So that becomes really important to get their email address and make sure that you are in line with GDPR at the start when they're buying from you and getting the correct information. So what I'll do now is if I cancel out.
Amy's going to go across to Strelitzia. So in terms of your existing customers, every single time you take an order, you've got the opportunity to gather an email address and to grow your database. So what Amy's going to do here is we're going to go through this order taking process here and kind of have a bit of a chat around the best way when you're talking to that customer to take that email address.
So the first thing I want to do is get the occasion so that I know why they've bought from me, so that in the future I can then use that information when I'm exporting my email addresses, which is what I'll show you in a minute. So this customer is buying from me for Christmas, and if I click on plus, I put in their information as normal. So if I just put in Amy Bennett, and then I put in my postcode. So nice, easy way to filter down the address compared to if, you know, once I've been using it for a while, I'll have hundreds of Smiths in there. It just means that I can find that customer really easily. And then put the number in as usual. And I've got my emails. So we've got 2 email boxes here.
So the one that Amy's filling in is the first email box. So when I'm talking to a customer in Flowers by Natures, I'm taking their details, and what I'm going to say to them is, can I take your email for the purposes of sending you a receipt of your order, and also to keep you updated as to where your order is, you know, when it's on the van and when it's been delivered. 9 times out of 10, that customer will say, absolutely, yes, here you go.
And then I can copy it down to my marketing email. So this is what's covering you with your GDPR and keeping you on the right side of the regulation. What I do for our customers is give the customer a reason to say yes. So rather than saying, would you like us to send you some promotional emails? They'll just go straight to spam, no thank you. No, I wouldn't. But if I frame it as, for our loyal customers, we send them out a discount for early December deliveries. Would you like me to put you in on that so that you can send out email, so you can send out flowers over that Christmas period? Or we're at the rugby club this weekend. We're doing tokens for free beer to get people down to the beer festival. Would you like to be put on our email and you'll get a free beer at this festival? Things like that, where the customer's going to benefit from getting that email for giving you the permission to get their emails. So if I click on OK, what that then asks me to do is it just clarifies that you have got their emailing permissions for their email. And so what I would say is it's not just you that's responsible for this. Your team is your biggest asset. So making sure that they've got all the tools they need to be able to ask for the email addresses without wanting to shrink away from it is really important. So training them to get the emails and having that confidence to gain the marketing permissions. So I would then go in and put in the rest of the order as normal. Now I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is going to say, yep, is show you how, once I've got all of that information, how I would export it out of Strelitzia.
Yeah, so Amy's going to go across to the marketing feature here. And what we've done is created a set of really simple and easy to use filters, allowing you to create really targeted audience to use in your marketing.
So I put in for December last year. And what I can do is choose my occasion. So if I wanted my wreath making class, I can generate that report and it will show me everybody who said yes to marketing, because that is there already for you, with their email addresses. Or if I wanted to just say anybody who bought from me over the Christmas period for a gift, I can generate that report. And we've got some different some different emails in there.
So what you're doing here is creating that list of customers who you know bought from you last year and that are going to be open and interested in buying flowers from you this year.
So all I've done is click on export to CSV, and the following spreadsheet has opened up. Gives me all of the information I need from that customer. And all I'm going to do is highlight it and then copy that information. And I'll show you how easy it is to put that into MailChimp. So if I go to my audience dashboard, this is a really, really simple demo account I created this afternoon in approximately 5 minutes to show you how easy MailChimp is to work. I just put in an email address, put in my company, and said I wanted to do e-marketing with them. And this is a completely free version to use. So I've got it, but there's no contacts in here. What I do is click on to first of all, into our audience dashboard, which is where I'm at, and then click on add your contacts.
Yeah, so your audience is your database, basically.
Absolutely. So I've copied them, but you can upload the file if you wanted to, and I can continue and simply paste that in. So it's giving me all of the different customers that are in here that I can then go across to organize. First of all, I can tick to say I want to update any existing contacts. That gives me the kind of reassurance that I'm not going to email somebody 5 times because they've bought from me 5 times. MailChimp's clever enough to go, that contact's already in there, I don't need a second one. And then what I can do is continue to tag. Put in Christmas 21, anything you wanted to, but all that's doing is allowing you to target and know why that customer's bought from you. And if they're being put in for a second time, all it's going to do is add that tag to the customer's profile already. And then I can continue to match. Choose where they are. So, yep, I've got my name in there. This is my combined address field. So I put that in, and then I can finalize that import. Just let it review. It's just saying that that's what I've done. So I've copied and pasted. They're all subscribed to me, and I've put them in the tag of Christmas 21. And my import was successful. So now I can view my contacts. And in my audience, it might take a minute, and it depends on how many customers you've got in. This was instantaneous, but when I was doing it with one of our customers last week, it took kind of 5 minutes for them to come through because we've done 5 customers in here. They had several hundred that they were coming in, so it wasn't quite as instantaneous. Just need to be patient, and MailChimp will then put them in there for you to go for your contacts.
So that's the audience side of MailChimp and building it up. And so now what we're going to do is kind of take you through the emails you're going to send to those people and managing that.
So this is what we've just talked through, just to show you the kind of the process of it. We're gaining our email address through Strelitzia, so that's and we're covered through GDPR with that. Then we're using MailChimp to create those emails, and we'll go through some of that content. And then you've got the managing of the database. So MailChimp will just do that all for you. If you need your customers, if your customers want to unsubscribe, all they need to do is click the button at the bottom of every MailChimp email, and that means that you're covered as far as GDPR and that kind of ongoing management of your contacts.
Yeah, absolutely. MailChimp's also a really great tool in terms of sending your emails, so you can see where people have clicked, what emails have done really well, so how many people have opened the email, and you can start and get a really good feel of the things that you're doing that really work and that are really engaging the people that you're talking to, and the things that maybe aren't doing so well, so that you need to change.
Cool. So now I've got my emails set in MailChimp. And it's a rainy, dark Wednesday evening, and I have absolutely no idea what to say.
Yeah, we've all been there.
So what I do here is go back to what Katie called my boring theory at the start. is what do I want to get out of this email? Where am I looking at my funnel so what do I want to get out of it? We're talking about Christmas and existing customers, so generally we're going to want sales, but there may be other things we want out of an email too. So simply work backwards. And then we've got our sales emails.
Okay, so think again, going back to that word target. So you've got the emails that you've exported from Strelitzia, you've got them into MailChimp. Now you're going to start and design your email. So again, remember the people that you're sending that email to. So we're talking about sales emails. So what is your call to action? So call to actions are so simple. They're literally something that you want that customer to do that means that they're going to buy from you. So it's a button that you're going to put on your email address that goes through to your website that will hopefully give you some sales. Another really good thing to do is to create urgency. So for example, you've got limited availability and it's something that, you want that customer to open your email and then to go through the buying process.
Absolutely. And the thing to look at is what are my customers' pain points? And by that, I don't mean physical pain. What I mean is, what are the stresses that are stopping them buying from you? So it might be that it's Christmas, you've got 3 kids, you need to take them to football 3 times a week at different places, each one of them. I've got limited time and I've got to buy a present for my auntie who lives 100 miles away. What you can then do is go, well, actually, you can buy this now and for a specific date for me to deliver. And for gifts, especially around Christmas, that's not very kind of widespread. If you're buying a bottle of whiskey, that's going to come with 3 to 5 working days delivery. It's not going to be on Christmas Eve, and potentially, if you decide to do that, AM or PM delivery. So what you're doing is saying, right, you've got this pain point, you don't have enough time. Here's a solution that makes your life easy and you don't even need to think about it on Christmas week. It is already done for you. And secondly is your buying occasions. So one thing that, I have my birthday in December, so not all buying occasions in December are for Christmas, and you create bespoke gifts. So you can say,
merry birthday, Christmas presents aren't okay.
No. No. So I can send an email and go, have you got a birthday this month? Because you bought from me last December for my birthday. I know that because of my occasions. Why don't you buy from me this year? And I will make you a beautiful, bespoke, non-glittery, non-Christmas bouquet for you that shows that you're putting that little bit more personal touch in there.
So here are 2 very different examples of sales emails. One's quite subtle and one's very much more kind of, in your face. Neither one is incorrect. It's just 2 very different ways of doing it. And one thing when creating your emails, think about your brand, think about how you like things to look and come across and reflect that into everything that you're doing. So we've got one example from the brand stylist. So it's very simple. We've got their logo at the top, really nice picture underneath, and then you've got the save £79 at the top of it. So it doesn't actually say what you're saving on, but it's showing you that there's something in that email that you're going to save on, and you're going to have to scroll down and have a look to see what that is.
And what she does on every email is sign it off as Fiona 2 Kisses. And what that does is it starts showing that there's a person behind the brand. It's not just Flowers by Nattrass in Darlington, it's Sally and the team, or kind of the Bennett family that is sat behind it and kind of creating that bespoke touch for that customer, a bit more personal.
Because people buy from people at the end of the day. And then you've got Levi's. So again, like I said, a different approach. So top of the email, you can really clearly see what the deal is. So 20% off almost everything. And then you've got that limited time offer, getting people, referring to the urgency of it and getting people to click through and buy in case they miss out. So here's another example of lick paint. So one thing is don't crowd your products. You know, we have a product that is really visually pleasing. It looks, you know, absolutely fine on its own. And so you don't want any bright colors behind it. You don't want any background pictures. Let your product really sing.
And what they've done here is Lick is a paint brand. So they could have showed you 5 colours of the rainbow saying we do all of these colours. Would you like to buy one? Which suits you? But what they've actually done is pick 5 products that work really well together. And so what they're saying is, I'm not a paint brand. I'm an interior design brand. I would like you, this is what I think works together. Why don't you see for yourself? And it's getting that kind of authority across to the customer without having to say it explicitly.
And you can curate your own products as well. So think about, you know, we're going down into Christmas. So take a color scheme, for example. So red and green, really nice and traditional. So you've got your red and green bouquet, you've got a nice traditional door wreath, again, like maybe including berries or something like that, bottle of red wine and a box of chocolates. And it's just putting you out there as, you know what you're doing, you know what you're talking about, you know what goes well together, and you're kind of creating almost a hamper of Christmas gifts in that email.
And at the same time, all their pain points are covered. It looks like they've thought about it and put in a really personal touch into creating a gift for you when really you've done that for them.
Okay, so brand continuity is also really important. So I've got another example here of another paint brand, Barrow and Ball. So I'm redoing a house at the moment. So on every email that Farrow and Ball send out, you've got free delivery on orders over £100, which is a really great hook at the top. Their logo, so you know exactly who the company is, and then they always use menus. So in this example, you've got paint, wallpaper, decorating advice, and colour consultancy. So you know that, Farrow and Ball is primarily sells paint, but I didn't know that they did wallpaper. And in terms of sending that email out, so yes, it's very targeted. That email might be just about paint, but I might be interested in wallpaper, and I didn't know that Farrow and Ball did that product. So that's telling me clearly at the top, meaning I can click through, go to their website, see all their wallpaper. So you're not maybe necessarily going to get that many click-throughs at the items at the top, but it's showing the range of products and services that you sell. So an example of how you could use that for your own email marketing is, okay, so you send out your targeted sales email to everybody that's advertising your Christmas products. But at the top of your menu, you've got shop, you've got weddings, you've got funerals, and then you've got contact me, for example. I've just got engaged. I get the email that comes in. I then see that you guys do something to do with weddings. I'm not necessarily interested in buying the Christmas products at that time, but I am definitely interested in weddings. So I can click through on that link. That customer then goes across to your website, and then you've got a potential wedding sale there. Okay, so you've then got mobile viewing. So around 60% of emails are opened on a mobile, but you don't need to worry about that if you're going to use a product like MailChimp. So MailChimp will optimize absolutely everything for you, so you don't need to worry about it.
And everything we're doing on here when we talk about the menus and the mobile viewing, it's all done for you by MailChimp. All you need to do is change the URL, so copy and paste the website address from your website into MailChimp and change any colors you want to. So it's dead simple and dead user friendly to use. So subject lines.
Subject lines, yeah, not easy, but generally make sure they're short and snappy, creative, attention grabbing. One thing that MailChimp does really well is A/B testing. So say if you're not quite sure what's going to work, but you've got 2 options, what you can do is put both of those options into the subject line, and it will send a small fraction of your audience one subject line, another small fraction the other. Give it an hour or so, see which subject line performs the best. So it sees how many people open that email. And then what it'll do, it'll send the rest of the audience that haven't received an email yet, the subject line that has worked the best.
Cool. And it's the most difficult part of sending the emails. Your products speak for themselves, and you can create a beautiful email quite simply on MailChimp. But this bit, as you can see on the computer on the right-hand side, that people get so many email addresses. It's about cutting through and making them open it, which is really, really difficult. So an example of this was when I was working for a food company. GDPR was nearly a thing, and we needed to get our database to click to say they still wanted to receive emails from us to be within the law. And we weren't getting very good click-throughs because everybody else was doing it. All they could see on their inbox was GDPR, sign up now for GDPR, don't miss out, GDPR. And they were bored and they weren't listening. They were just looking at them and going, not really interested. We had giraffe, Donald Duck, parrots, and Romania. What do these things have in common? Click here to find out. When they answered, was absolutely nothing, but they created the acronym of GDPR. So now you're here, sign up now because we're interesting and because we cut through the noise, and you might want to speak, you might want to hear more from us. And we got big click-throughs and big sign-ups on that email because it was different, because it was unique. And so you might be just a simple one that you do, like, get your Christmas flowers here, but trying to think of things that are slightly different, or having a look at what other companies are doing on your inbox and kind of getting ideas from them is a really good thing to do, because you'll get that better conversion rate. So I've created the email, it's all beautiful. When do you send them?
So you need to think of newsletters and sales emails differently. So in this webinar, we've covered sales emails. So I would try and send sales emails more frequently than you're sending newsletters, because newsletters, you need a lot more information in there. It's a lot more chatty, and there's a lot more in there to cover. So newsletters, I'd recommend once a month, but however often you can do it, where you're going to do it well and you're going to have the time to be able to do that. Sales emails, I'd give yourself the target of doing one a week if you can, because remember, you're not sending a sales email to the same people every single week because you're targeting. So you're not going to be overloading people, because different people are going to be receiving different sales emails.
Absolutely. And then once you've decided how often you're doing them, it's about what time frame you do them in. So this is one of the more difficult parts of it. Thinking about what your customer's doing. Is my customer a young professional that is sat at their desk, and 3 p.m. is about right because the deadline for 5 o'clock isn't close enough to stop procrastinating, but it is kind of after lunch and I'm a little bit kind of bored and I'd like to have, and procrastinating looking at some beautiful flowers would be a really nice thing to do. Or is it mums that you're talking to that are doing the school run at 3 o'clock? So to talk to them is probably best about 6, 7 o'clock at night, once they've kind of got the kids fed and they're sat down in front of the telly for the first time and they're dual screening and kind of looking to see what emails are in their inbox. MailChimp is clever enough. It's one of their paid features, but it is clever enough to tell you what the optimum time for your database is. So for Flowers by Naturalis, that's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Whereas for Strelitzia, because we're talking to florists rather consumers, it's either 4 p.m. or 6 p.m. So sort of before or after closing time, when they may be a little bit quieter or they're just checking their emails. Okay, so
we created some free templates for you, and so everybody in the meeting today, what I'll do is I will send across a free sales template for you to use. So you just need to have a MailChimp account already set up. It's dead easy to use, and when you click on the link for the template, it will open up in MailChimp ready to go, and then you just need to change your links, your pictures, your text, and you're good to go. And do we have any questions or anything? No, I think we're all quiet on the question front. If anybody doesn't have any questions that they'd rather send us after the webinar, please feel free to do so. You could send it to support@strelitziasoftware.com or info@strelitziasoftware.com. And if not, I hope everybody has a really great December. and Christmas is good, and we'll speak to you all later.
See you soon.
Thanks, bye.
Bye.